Hello, everybody, and welcome again to another episode of TableTakes, of course, with all of these lovely folks that I have around us. You know what? I feel like we always just rush into things. So I want to take some time and get to know, do secrets always stay with us, Javion? Are we going to a place where what stays there never has spoken up again? Huh, Javion? What about?
Yes, I am. I'm
Oh,
the
you
one who's
are.
going to Vegas. I'm going to
Hey!
Vegas. Yeah, it's Pride month. It's Pride weekend coming up, and I'm doing a lot of Pride related things, including going to Vegas. So you guys are going to see me in a hotel room, but I'm still going to be doing the show next week. But it's a whole week long. I get to be in Vegas. I get to see all my friends again. I'm super excited. I have so many outfits planned. Oh my gosh. So many rompers that you guys haven't seen yet.
Ooh, I'm excited to see all of these rompers. We better get a tagged update. Be like, hey, this is my romper today. This is my romper now. This is my romper while drinking at the beach.
Oh, you're gonna see lots. Trust.
Oh, you know who we need to get hooked on to rompers? You know, Noir, what have you been doing? And why haven't you bought yourself a romper and joined the romper crew? Okay? What do you have against rompers? I have questions. I need answers.
I thought this was TableTakes, not the romper report.
Romper room.
Yeah.
Romper room. Man, what do I have going on? Not too terribly much. I have some live shows over at GenCon that I'm very excited to be putting together. Namely, Morning Ritual Live is going to be there, so I cannot wait. So yeah, that's one of the things I got going on.
Ooh, exciting. Yeah, because how many? Oh gosh, there's less than, like, the last time we counted is less than 50 days. Now it's like in the 40-day mark. That's like a month. It's like it's almost a month away, right?
Oh my gosh.
How are you feeling about that, Peter? I know you still had a lot of things on your hand. What have you been up to?
Oh, well, I'm also very excited about GenCon. Yes, the best 4 days in gaming still. And so getting ready for that. Although, I've got an amazing group, amazing company, people that work at GenCon, know what they're doing. The way I am the most helpful in preparing for GenCon is to stay out of it for the most part. I think I'm writing an introductory letter. I think that's basically all I'm doing to help get ready for GenCon. Life continues on with Actoroki and with GenCon TV. And I'm very excited that in about an hour and a half, I get to GM you all in the wonderful world of Star Trek.
Yay, that's very exciting.
I'm excited to see where we get to go, because I remember the whole last session we were just traveling, but now we're actually there.
Yeah.
Oh, we're there. We have to deal with an empty ship that's not suspicious at all.
No.
No,
it's
perfectly safe.
This is the part of the galaxy where nothing interesting ever happens.
Wait. Did you guys trick me into playing Alien again? Dang it!
Not it.
Oh,
there will be aliens, though. I mean,
no!
Come on. There are aliens on the ship. There is a Romulan. There is a Vulcan. Those are aliens.
I was just about to say, I'm an alien. What's your beef, bro?
Yeah.
As long as you're not a predator, too. That's the thing I'm really scared
of. Romulans are never predators.
Okay, good.
But yeah, no. Oh, I actually have some really exciting news. Me and my partner went official and found out that I am 3D printing a human. It's very exciting. I am a 3D printing human. It takes a while. It's like a 9 months process, but I'm very excited. You know why? Because I get a choice to grow a 3D human, and some people don't get that choice. And that's really sad. And for those who maybe want to help people with their choices in life, because, things happen today, might have hit the news or not. But, there's this group called the Brigid Alliance. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop that link right into chat, because you know what? I like choices, and you have a choice to click on that link too. But more exciting news that are going on today, especially because I feel like there might be pirates aborting these waters. Oh yeah, we have a very exciting interview coming up with the creators of Pirate Borg, Lou Stratton. So if you guys want to hear more from that creator, just stick around after Kickstarters and we will have a good time interviewing them. So think of all those questions you would like to ask in chat as well.
Is that related to Mork Borg?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I don't know. It sounds familiar. That might be a good question to ask.
Yeah, there's Mork Borg, there's Orc Borg, now there's Pirate Borg.
Waiting for Mork Magic Mountain.
Yeah, almost like, there's peppermint seeds and the bluebirds sing in the big rock. Oh, wait, no, it's not. I feel like there's some kind of thing that's happening on a Magic Mountain. Javion, do you know?
I sure do. Yep. It's the announcement of the winner of the Kinderspiel des Jahres, Magic Mountain. Magic Mountain is a cooperative game designed for kids of all ages to play. Basically, there is this master magician who lives at the foot of the mountain, not the top for some reason. His magic is powerful. Well, actually, you'll see why, because part of the game has to do with the wizard at the foot of the mountain. So students from this wizard academy are joining up with the magician to protect the master magician. And to guide your way through the forest, you travel with the will-o-wisps down the paths into the valley. But there's witches. That's right, witches in the way. They're following you in the mountain. So you have to work cooperatively to navigate around the evil witches and roll the balls to move the students down. But you can also crash the balls into the witches as well to knock them away, so you can eventually get all of the students down to the bottom of the mountain to help protect the master magician. It's a very cute game. It's very interactive and tactile, and those are typically how the games that win Kinderspiel des Jahres tend to be. I'm thinking of games like Dragomino, Dragon's Breath, Ice Cool, among many other winners that have that very hands-on interactive feel to them. Because a lot of mechanics, besides the fact that it's cooperative, that keep kids engaged. And that's probably why they won this time. It's also really interesting that 2 Wolfgang Warsch games were the other nominees, and neither of them won. It was Amiga. So it's very, very cool. It's very exciting to see that this game was able to power through. If you are interested in any of the other Spiel des Jahres Game of the Year or Connoisseur Gamer Game of the Year award winners are going to be, the nominees have been announced, but the winners have not been announced yet. So if you're looking for a core game Gamer of the Year, you've got Cryptid, Dune Imperium, and Living Forest as the nominees. But the Game of the Year, there are 3 nominees. Top 10, Scout, and my personal favorite, Cascadia, which is a game all about animals in the Pacific Northwest, which, I mean, I'm obviously kind of biased, but good luck to all of the nominees.
Oh no, all of those games sound really good and would be happily put on anybody's maybe something you want to put on your list of games to buy at GenCon coming up soon. It just sounds very whimsical, fantasy land. It just makes my heart go yay, right? What do you think, Noir? Do you feel whimsical? Do you feel like going yay?
Yes. And before I take this wonderful this wonderful segue, I've got to ask, could you tell me one more time what this makes your heart want to do? That's amazing. Yes, well, whimsical fantasy RPG Land of M is like a Lord of the Rings with Muppet, and it looks as great as that sound. This is, of course, from a report from Dicebreaker. Shout out to Matt Jarvis for this article. There's a new tabletop that's offering a whimsical take on classic fantasy. Land of M shares its colorful fantasy universe with the Rickety Stitch, a gelatinous goo graphic novels and book series, Dungeoneer Adventures by both Ben Costa and James Park. And just as a personal aside, I love this style of art. It's very cutesy. It's very accessible. It's very reminiscent of like your Adventure Time type art, illustrations, or if you've seen the fantastic Serena Marie who works over at Critical Role, does art style very similar to this. It's very cute and fantastic. The universe is maybe just summed up as the meeting point of Dungeons and Dragons, Lord of the Rings, and the Muppets, with the RPG's high fantasy world populated with both familiar species, including skeletons, turtle-like quartles, and gelatinous goo, cube-shaped or otherwise, and whimsical takes on classical role-playing classics such as The Loyal Chum and the Mushroom Dungeoneer. This upcoming run on the original gameplay system runs on the original gameplay system, so this is not going to be using 5e, but instead it's based its roles on that of a D12, which is criminally underused, and really just this is just a breath of fresh air for anybody that's looking for something that's a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more jovial, and something new to kind of dig your teeth into. So highly recommend this. Take a look at it. I mean, we've got the link in the chat. I think this is going to be one that you'll want to have in your bookcases, ready to play with people that might not be so hardcore into, like,
Muppets.
age, yeah. Like it's Muppets essentially. Come on, you're gonna have a good time.
I want to run this like as a GM, just so I can give this giant turtle familiar / mount a voice, because I love turtles more than anything, and this looks so cute.
Would you say that you would like? Do you love them or do you like them, Javion? What is the?
I love turtles.
Ah, darn it! I was trying to do a meme, but then
Oh, sorry, I don't know the meme.
No, it's okay. It's good. It's good.
Oh.
No.
I thought you were trying to do a segue to yourself.
I don't know. It was going crazy, but it's okay, because sometimes we just have jokes everywhere. And what sometimes people think is going to be a joke actually turns out to be true. Like in the case for Games Workshop preview of Warhammer's 40K, they on April Fools, they made an announcement that they said that they would be bringing back the Squats, which is one of the classic Warhammer races that would be. Originally, the concept were dwarves, a biker, like a race of dwarves that were bikers, and that just caused havoc and silliness all throughout the Warhammer 40K. Of course, when Warhammer started to break out more, started to become more grimdark, they're like, this is too much joy. We're gonna put this joy in a box and pretend it never, ever, 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 ever existed. And we don't speak about it. Well, a lot of course, people who love dwarves were like, no, we know this exists. And they, that very small insular community started making a lot of noise. And then, of course, this year, April Fool's Day, they announced that they're going to be bringing them back. And people are like, good joke. But they were actually very serious. They're like, hey, yeah, I know it's a joke, but it's not. So they are going to be bringing them back as the League of Voltans. They have ditched their space biker look. Sad, I'm sorry. So it could fit more into the darkness and grimness that is Warhammer 40K. Even though this is just an early preview, it's already has started a lot of discussion in the community. A lot of people, the biggest complaint is that they're not dwarfy enough. And others are upset that they're they're ripping off of Adeptus Amaticus or Tao's aesthetic. And then, do certain groups only get this right to this aesthetics? I guess everyone's just complaining about it. We don't know until they fully release it. The bigger thing is that you get the dwarves back. You get your dwarves back,
Or maybe it's just the most complex, long-lasting April Fool's joke ever. I mean, they might just be doubling down on it,
It's a joke that they're going to be like, actually next year, this whole year, we said that we're bringing it back. We're not. That would be, wow. I don't know. Would that actually help the community or hurt the community to have such a angry mob at their backs? It might make people want to do new battle stats, Noir, like maybe new Battletech behind it to prepare.
No, keep going. I'm digging this segue. Catalyst is going to release Battletech Empire Alone. It's a new tabletop source book. Catalyst Labs is going to release Battletech Empire Alone on July 13th, 2022. This new source book focuses on the events revolving around the Wolf Empire and Free Worlds League from 3151 to mid-3152. The book provides a full historical summary of events in those regions of space. It also has personality and unit profiles of key players from that time period. I say all that to say this. More mechs, baby. More mechs. More mechs is never a bad thing. I've always admired people that can remember fictional dates. Never been one of those types. But if you are, you're going to get the full rundown of that time period to add to your world of Battletech. So if you are a mech enthusiast, hop on it. Oh, and also I should inform you that when you hop on it, you'll be shelving out $34.99, as that is what it retails for.
Ooh, very exciting. It's. Do you think this still is almost earth-shattering, world-ending? I don't know. It's hard to tell. What do you think, Peter? Do you think this is a good deal?
Well, I could tell you how it ends. How's that?
Oh, okay. Yeah, tell us. Give us a little word.
Yeah, it's called the World-Ending Game. So this is a really interesting product that's coming out. It's an RPG game about the end of a game. What I should say is, like, we've all played, if we're role players, we've played in campaigns, and sometimes one of the awkward things about role-playing game campaigns is the ending. I mean, a lot of them don't end in a satisfying way. A lot of them just kind of fizzle, fall apart, and so, but if you take a page from the book of Hollywood's gotten very good at, we go watch a movie and there's the culmination, the bad guy gets killed, the guy gets the girl, or the guy gets the guy, or, whatever happens at the end, the astronauts are saved. And then the movie will take a few moments just kind of managing your emotions, kind of coming off of that, helping you get to a good space emotionally, a place that feels fulfilling and satisfied. There'll be these end scenes that maybe bring back some old characters, some touching moments, some little humorous moments and stuff like that. And we don't tend to do this well in RPGs. And so this guy, Everest Pipkin, who created this game, has thought about this apparently a lot, because he's doing a whole game about it. And he writes, it's a world-ending game about bringing things to a conclusion, closing the storybook, setting down the brush, and turning off the light on your way out. Over the course of a final session, players use a series of endings to wrap up unfinished business and see their characters off into the metaphorical sunset. The facilitator role is called the director, and they will lead players through their selected scenes, interjecting and guiding the mind's camera where necessary, but largely giving the players or individuals the space to say goodbye. And that sounds pretty cool. And so there's like 20 different mini games on how, you pick the one that you want to apply. One of them is a karaoke night. So you could go like pour your heart into a karaoke song that kind of, summons up the emotions of your character. I think I'll skip that one. But it looks like really good ideas. They're not doing a crowdsourcing campaign on a crowdfunding campaign site, but they are selling advanced sales on their website or their site. So it's on itch.io /world-ending game. If you'd like to buy it now, I'm sure they'd appreciate the upfront cash as they go into production.
This is definitely something I struggle with all of my games. First of all, getting to the end is a nightmare. I mean, how many games have you played which like go on hiatus indefinitely, right? But when my campaign, one of mine, if it actually did end, I was stuck doing these montages, and I didn't have a lot of experience ending a game before. It was definitely cinematic, but I definitely could have used something like this. Peter, have you ever ended one of your GM campaigns? or tabletop
I did.
RPG?
No, I struggled with the same thing. I did do some Burning Wheel games during the pandemic where I told the players that we were going to go 6 episodes. And by having that structure, it helped us sort of identify the narrative arc and how we bring it to a conclusion. But I didn't. I thought Sarah Moore did this really well in Akaroki Series 2 with the death of Badia in that series. But we had the benefit of Steve Potter going through and writing a screenplay about it and being able to sort of apply the screenplay techniques to the story. But to do it as an RPG through the table, it totally makes sense. And it seems something totally doable. And I think most of it's just never thought that we should do it, and so getting a source like this to kind of tackle this really important bit of a campaign, I think it's pretty cool.
Well, it looks like it's just in pre-order now, but I'm very excited for when it does come out, at least in just the digital edition, so I can use this.
Yeah, maybe it'll come out in time for the ending of our Star Trek game.
Oh, there you go. So you can actually have it complete.
Ending a campaign is always like bittersweet, so it's nice to have something that'll be able to help you with the emotions of that. Because nothing's worse than like having an amazing campaign and then having it fall flat at the end.
Yeah.
So.
I just remember the one very exciting campaign ending. Like we got what we wanted, but like only one character survived. And that was the campaign's ending. It was like, yay, but we all sacrificed ourselves for the greater good. And this is how our choices turned out. I was like, yay. So, it's always going to be a very heart-wrenching idea. But like for those who can go through a whole story and plan this out, I feel like that's a very money-making idea, maybe like a very Silicon Valley way of thinking. What do you think, Javion?
Bonsai, let me put on my gamer glasses so we can enter the gamer zone for a minute here. I have a headline I think all of you are going to like because I know that you all are gamers like I am. And you stare at screens all the time, similar to those working in Silicon Valley, which is the title of the newest game from Scott Almes, the creator of 2 of my absolute most favorite games of all time, Tiny Epic Galaxies and Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea. It's going to be released by the Australian publisher Grail Games later this year in Q4, sometime around the holiday season. You play as entrepreneurs running tech startups. You're trying to get $1 billion. And the best way to do that isn't just by creating the best tech. No, you have to poach staff and copy other people's products, okay? You're stealing market share. You have to reach $1 billion by any means necessary, even if that means creating patterns using colorful polyominoes, as in Tetris. The game is intended for up to 4 players. I think there is a solo mode because entrepreneurship fosters a feeling of independence and entrepreneurship like no other. Also, there is some artwork from Carrie Aitken, who you might recognize from A Boomerang Australia or Teach You. And there's so many components in this game. Sadly, no dice. But, I mean, if you like punch boards, there's tons of tokens to punch out. And this is a game that's, it's got a lot to do with money and like economy and things like that. It's definitely going to be more of a medium weight game, something along the lines of like Castles of Burgundy or other like economy based games that I can't remember, but I were like tons of them behind me. But it's definitely one of those games that I think I'm going to be really interested in getting because, as you know, Bonsai and all of y'all, I love lots of stuff. I love getting to collect lots of things, even if it means stealing it from other people. So it looks like it's going to be really good.
It's the hoarder instincts and everything. Oh goodness.
Oh, and sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go.
Keep an eye out because there's another game called The Gardens coming out later this year. This one is just about Australian parks, and it looks like it's going to be really fun too.
Ooh, I like parks. I like parks because they're pleasant and they're nice. And it's like, hearing good news about growth and being better about yourself and just being better about everything you do and growing into a better person and moving away from, very toxic things, saying words. Peter, do you know anything about people like moving away from bad habits and embracing the good stuff that we have in our society nowadays?
You mean like not being undead?
Yeah, not being undead.
I think what Bonsai is referring to is that there's some question floating around in the gamer sphere about phylacteries. And so if you are a fan of Vecna from the the old days of the ultimate lich in Dungeons and Dragons, Vecna had a phylactery that he would if you killed him, he just came back. Because of his phylactery. If you really wanted to defeat him, you had to go get the phylactery. And that was the only way to defeat Vecna. So in the latest 5e stats that have come out on Vecna, there is no phylactery. And that has sort of raised a question like, well, is it because the word phylactery is tied to a Jewish thing, basically how a device that would hold pages of the Torah. And some Jews, when they pray, they would wrap this around their arm. And so then the question is like, well, maybe that shouldn't be in Dungeons and Dragons. And maybe shouldn't. You have your own opinions. I do think that it's good for publishers of fantasy games, unless the game is really specifically about a particular religion in sort of a constructive, authentic way, that I like the idea of drifting away from tying things that are unique to a specific religion. Now, I've had some experience of this with my own World of Chaldea, which I have been publishing through media. And one of the things that we had to go through, that we chose to go through, is say, like, which types of things do we think are appropriate in this sort of context and which aren't? And the guideline that we came up with is that we don't put anything in Chaldea that is directly associated or exclusively associated with a religion that is a living religion, whether Christian, a Hindu, a Buddhist, et cetera, et cetera. We use a lot of stuff from mythology, but now some might question maybe the worship of Odin isn't truly dead, but I think it's safe to kind of say, the mythology should be a safe space for us. That we believe anyway. Mythology should be a safe space for us to explore and riff off of the ideas, and like the way Marvel does with all the mythology. So we think that's great, but we don't. And so it's interesting to delve into some of these words and find out what the roots of the word are. So, for example, we use the word temple because temple, while it is associated with some religions, it's also associated with a lot of other religions. It is a word that you find across religions. So it's already been appropriated, I guess, or it's been generic sized, if you will. But at one point, we had the word abbey. Well, it turns out abbey is really strictly a Catholic sort of word. It is not. It is tied to a very specific Christianity sort of thing. So I think that, what you do at home, it's your own business. It's okay. But I think it's good to veer away from words that are tied specifically to a religion that is still an active religion.
I haven't been watching a lot of Stranger Things, but I have heard that Vecna is in the most recent season. Spoiler alert, not really. But I'm wondering if this is going to be tied in any way. I wonder if WotC spoke to any of the people who are going to be portraying Vecna. Because now that we have the stats, I wonder if it's going to affect other media where things like liches appear.
No idea.
It's a good theory, like people can just go crazy with all types of media, especially for like underworldly gods. At what point does it become open domain, or like, especially for God, like concept of like a deep undersea god that's been around maybe for a couple of years now and is taking over with all of their tentacle spawn. I don't know. Noir, do you know if there's been any of those around, any deep dark gods?
Oh, I wouldn't call them God. I would call them eldritch abominations. Some have been around for so long that they're getting anniversaries. Call of Cthulhu's new 40th anniversary starter set has actually come out. Call of Cthulhu, the classic horror TTRPG game, is getting its new starter set, and it's coming out next week. And again, this report is brought to us by Dicebreaker, Alex Meehan to be specific. The new starter set for Call of Cthulhu is inspired by the Call of Cthulhu mythos and Eldritch Horror, and it's being released to celebrate the game's 40th anniversary. Revealed by Chaosium, the publisher responsible for the TTRPG earlier this year. Before being more widely publicized on the company's official Twitter account, the Call of Cthulhu 40th Anniversary Starter Set will introduce a number of changes and new elements to the TTRPG. And also on the topic of that, Chaosium, in order to celebrate this, is actually putting together an actual play so you can see the starter set in action, which is being hosted by Becca Scott. And in the actual play, you'll have Black Needle, Persephoroth, Trisha Hirschberger, and more. So be sure to check that out. I believe it's going to start next Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So you can go ahead and get your starter set and watch it played in case you have any questions, which is just a good time all the way around.
Ooh, very exciting to see. But with that 40th anniversary announcement, we are going to be hopping right into Bundle Boss with Javion. Tell us about it.
All right, Bonsai. Do you like mercenaries? How about world-ending apocalypses? How about the Black Death that we all know as the cycle of systematic poverty? Well, look no further, because our bundle today is Red Markets. It is the disaster capitalism role-playing game. For $12.95, you get a high value of supplementary material and all 5 titles in the market collection of DRM-free ebooks for the Red Markets system. In Red Markets, there is an unevenly distributed zombie apocalypse, okay? So it's not just the entire world fighting against a common threat. No, it's very black and white, much like the cover art for this RPG. There is either the diseased or the not diseased. There are the living and the dead, or I guess maybe undead. And then there are, of course, the haves and the have-nots. The mercenary entrepreneurs called takers live on the wrong side of that divide, the loss, and that's where you come in. You must hustle, scheme, and fight to profit from humanity's imminent extinction. So even if the actual monsters don't kill you, well, maybe debt will. It's going to be a whole lot of fun for any GM to run, and you get plenty of material to do that with. Again, this is Red Markets coming to you from the Bundle of Holding, which of course always supports a charity of some kind. So if you wanted to donate a little bit extra, you can do that. It's pay what you want, minimum $12.95 for a ton of really cool content. Definitely check this one out. You've got about 4 days and 5 hours left. It looks like it's going to be really cool. And I think if anybody is going to be sitting at home playing an RPG, well, you're going to want a lot of content to do it at a very cheap price. And that's what Bundle Holding always does. So check it out before before the time's up, and get your copy of Red Markets today.
Oh, very, very nice. Thank you. So go check out that Red Market bundle. Now we're going to go ahead and roll right into court crowdfunding court. Well, of course, since Javon, you started it, you did the since you have graced us with being a bundle boss, I feel like you're the most endured to talk about your first Kickstarter. In fact, come on.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure. Extra Fabulous Experience is the bundle on Kickstarter for the first book and a new game from Zach M. Stafford, the creator of Extra Fabulous Comics, as well as other comic series such as Diagi, maybe, and Purvis. Now, fair warning to all of the parents at home, this is not for kids. This is an adult Kickstarter that we're talking about. The comics are super funny. I've been reading them for years. I'm in love with them. They're very, very clever. You get a book that is called The Good Comics for Bad People, and that title doesn't say it all. I don't know what will. But You can also back this Kickstarter to get Booty Call. It is a board game about ghosts trying to hook up with other ghosts using a psychic medium to try to matchmake for them. This looks hilarious. There's plenty of different levels to back. You can just pledge $1 to get a digital thank you card. But if you really want the full experience, you want to get the complete experience for $75 to get you the Good Comics for Bad People, digital PDF, a hardcover, and the actual board game Booty Call, as well as an official hat for Extra Fabulous Comics, which is very clever. It's got a hat as the logo on the hat, so you can wear a hat while you hat. Very exciting. You got plenty of time to back it as well. You got 18 more days, and it only ends on July 13th. So check it out.
Ooh, very, very nice. It almost makes me feel like a big bad, right? What do you think, Peter?
Yeah, like Big Bad John or Big Bad Con. Let's go with Big Bad Con. So, yes, very excited to announce this crowdfunding is happening on Indiegogo, and it is for Big Bad Con. And if you haven't heard of Big Bad Con, it is an amazing convention, and I would know. It's really great. It's probably the most progressive convention in tabletop games. They right in the front. You know, they say that our focus is on supporting gamers from marginalized backgrounds and nurturing a space to grow the gaming community by hosting a convention as physically, socially, and financially accessible as possible. I've been to Big Bad Con. Sean Nittner and Karen Twelves and everybody who runs this convention do a great job. And its show dates are October 27 to 30. It's in the California, in the Bay Area, somewhere. I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly where at. But they have tabletop RPGs, LARPs, board games, panels, workshops, you name it. And they have a POC track. So which POC track is going to have a scholarship, it's going to have a POC dinner, and a POC meet and greet, which I attended a few years back, which is specially designed to connect POCs who are looking for work with people who have work to offer. And to attend this, you have to have a position that's open that you're trying to fill. Doesn't have to be a full-time position, a contract position, or something like that. So, that's how I met Jabari Weathers, and who still does art for me to this day. And so it's highly recommend checking this out and going if you can go. Or if you just want to support a really good cause, then donate to the Indiegogo and donate your badge to someone else.
Ooh, we support all of the sport for those, especially those marginalized folks, and all kinds of things. But that, my friends, is our crowdfunding court. I hope you all enjoyed this, because I hear cannons ablazing in the background, and we are going to get a rowdy scallywag is named Luke Stratton into chat. So if you could just hold on for about 2 minutes or so, we're gonna go ahead. Okay. Oh, but yes. And so if anything, it's gonna be really exciting for this interview. But also, I really highly suggest everyone check out Big Bad Con for 2022. Yes, it's happening in October, correct? October
27 to 30th.
Oh, and yeah. I just got confirmation. Sean Nittner of Big Bad Con is going to be our guest on the show next week.
Oh, yay!
Oh,
yeah. So
nice.
we'll be able to cover this topic twice because it deserves it.
Questions.
And we can hear directly from Sean himself about the show.
God dang, we work quick.
I'm doing that.
Okay. So yes, like I said, we just had to get set up, and if you guys blink really quick, we're gonna go ahead and right back in.
Welcome to the elevator music hour of TableTakes.
Wait, can they hear us?
Can you see me?
Hey,
Yay!
Luke. Hey, Luke. Welcome to the show.
I didn't know it was a party. This is awesome.
This is a party.
Wow.
Yeah, of course.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a party at TableTakes.
That's right. So who are you and what have you been up to?
My name is Luke. I'm also known as Limithron. I'm a Patreon battle map artist, and I have recently made a hack of Borg, or Morkborg as us Americans call it, called Pirate Borg. It has got 4,000 backers on Kickstarter, which basically changed my entire life. And that's what I do now.
So for people that can we start with a little bit like what is Morkborg for people who don't know that much, and then go to how it's different from
I
that.
got you. Okay, so you've got Dungeons and Dragons, right? And then in the early 80s they made a version of Dungeons and Dragons called Basic Expert, which is kind of like it was designed for like, hey, come learn this game, but it's actually like the best version of D&D in a lot of people's opinions. It's like kind of simple, you know. And then these Swedish guys made this game called Morkborg, which is like an art punk hack, kind of inspired by, let's see if I can show you some of the art in here. I mean, it's just like really bright and vibrant. And they have a fully open, so this is like a death metal, very dark world is ending RPG. But they have a fully open license so that anybody can make content for it. They can hack the game, they can do whatever they want. So I made Pirate Borg, which is a rules light pirate or a role-playing game here. You know? So yeah, that's what I do, you know.
Wow.
So did you do all the art concepts for this, or?
I did. Yeah, I did the whole book. I did all the art and I did all the writing, and I'm a crazy person. Yes.
I was just about to say, I love the font on the front. That is just, that screams metal.
Oh yeah, it's definitely okay. So like, if you were like, I want to be Jack Sparrow and live forever and be heroic, this is not the game for you. This is the you might have 1 or 2 hit points, and you start with several afflictions. It's like Darkest Dungeon, but pirates. So.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any favorite moments from playing, like play testing the game with other people?
Okay, so my favorite moment that I know of is not from a game that I played. We were at Origins 2 weeks ago, and we ran a bunch of games. And my brother, who had never played any of these kinds of games, he's usually playing like 5th edition and stuff. I got him to play in a game that I ran, and then he ran one the next night. And in that game, a bunch of the players, like they were in this castle, which has a shipwreck on top of it. And the shipwreck is like falling off the top of the castle. So they jump out of that into another tower. And then they have that like cartoon moment where the rope they used to get in is like slowly uncoiling, like the ship is going to bring the whole castle down. Oh, cool. So they throw the grappling hook into the big bad evil guy. And it grabs him and pulls him out the window as the pirate ship falls to its demise. You know,
that's so cool. Oh my gosh,
pretty fun. A lot of really fun moments.
Metal.
Oh yeah, it's a very metal game. If you're, I mean, you know.
I wonder, is there also drunken pirate rules also included in this?
There is, in fact, two of the classes have specific features for this. But the rapscallion, which is kind of like you can see that their features here are on cards. They're kind of like the rogue thief. If you're comparing it to normal D&D, one of them is called the grog brewer, and there are actually rules for drinking grog, and they can basically make grog that works like poison. They can put on their weapons. Yeah. So the answer is yes.
Heck yeah. So whenever I get a chance to talk to a designer, I have to ask them, is there anything that hit the cutting room floor that you really dug?
Oh man, I gotta be honest, this has not been a cutting room floor game. It started as a like 40-page zine. I was just gonna hack Morkborg to be pirates because I make a bunch of pirate maps and stuff and it is. How many pages do you think the final's at right now?
Ooh.
I would have to guess. I'm going to guess seeing that book around 250, 300.
Oh, not that many. Not 160 though. It's
160.
It's definitely like, let's add this, let's add that. I overshot it a bit, but yeah, you know. So there's not a whole lot that I've cut. I think maybe more there are things that I want to do that I just haven't had a chance to. But none of them are really worth mentioning. We pretty much put everything in. So
heck yeah, I love that.
So what is a typical adventure? Like, do you start off with a ship and you're sailing around looking for treasure? Or
there is a rules light naval combat system. And so yes, you can steal a ship. Some of my backers are like, hey, are there going to be prices for ships? And I'm like, no, you can't buy a ship. You are a pirate. Like pirates don't buy ships. You have to steal. Now you can upgrade them. Yeah. But there is like a sandbox adventure in the back of the book, which is, it has like maybe 10 or 12 different locations, which you could put anywhere, or you can like put them all together on this big island called Black Coral Bay. And the book comes with a printed version of this map because we hit that stretch goal. So you can unfold this treasure map and say, here, there's a tavern and there's a witch in the swamp, and there's a castle. And so you could start there, but it's designed to be like as open world as you want, let your players go anywhere in the dark Caribbean and steal anything and drink all the grog.
I guess my other question would be, would you recommend any songs to play in the background while playing this? For Luke, is there specific songs that...
Yeah, we asked the tough questions here, Luke.
I have... Interesting you should ask. So I have a pretty extensive like Spotify playlist collection that people can find. But even one step further, if you have a crew and you have a ship, you can learn shanties, and these shanties, they work like spells would for a spellcaster. So you can cast them to give you can sing them, and hopefully your party learns them and actually sings them, but you can sing them to give your ship, like make it move faster, or it cannon rolls are better. So here is the Mystic Shanties page.
Awesome.
And all 12 of these are based off of real historic shanties, on which we have a playlist on Spotify, so you can actually play them while playing.
So you're coming to GenCon?
We are going to be at GenCon. The book doesn't hit print until the fall, so we don't have a booth, but we will be. I think we're going to be running like my
games.
Team is coming.
Yeah, run games off the grid.
If you see anybody wearing a Limit Run, it's like a Gandalf skull and crossbones. So
here's your goal for GenCon. Here's your mission I'm going to give you.
I accept, Captain. What is it?
Get your players to be singing shanties so loud that somebody calls GenCon security.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
The game I just told you about, where they pulled the skeleton guy out of the window. He said that the rest of the room hated them because they were all chanting, and it's definitely a game for like light dice rolls, lots of death, and like very exciting role playing. It's not a if you're like a number crunching introvert, I mean, you could play it, but you're not going to be like min-maxing your class in this.
We play all kinds of games here, Luke. Yeah. So that's good.
Well, Luke, I had a question for you. So the combat system is a little bit different for this than in typical like D&D and stuff like that. Can you explain it a little bit more for the audience?
Yeah. So if you're familiar with, Pathfinder or 5e, where you have your character sheet and you're basically rolling a d20 and adding your modifier, it's exactly the same here. Your just modifier is probably going to be lower. If you have a +4, you're incredibly good in this game. And then the assumption is pretty much always DR or DC, if you will, but a difficulty rating of 12. The big difference here, though, is that monsters don't have AC. They don't have a number to hit. You dodge a monster's attacks. And so if a monster attacks you, you dodge using your agility, not anything that the monster is doing. Now, some monsters might be fast, so the number changes, but it's all like player facing rolls. So if you have a big, crazy combat, you can say, all right, these 5 skeletons attack all 5 of you, and those players know what they have to roll. They don't have to ask. They just roll to dodge. And then if they dodge, then you roll damage. So it's basically D&D with less rules. Wow. The big difference is that I found in play is there's no attacks of opportunity. So in normal Dungeons and Dragons, if you're next to a monster and you want to run away from it, it gets to attack you. Well, like there's none of that. We want like swinging from ropes and climbing up the rigging and like jumping off the tavern chandelier, so you can move freely around the battle area as much as you want. And it really, I honestly would recommend it for all role-playing games, because you get this like cinematic thing where they're not thinking about how to do the most damage. They're like, what's the best story move?
That's smart.
Yeah, that's the idea.
So one of the things that you talk about that I love about this is that it sounds so brutal. So like, what's the most hardcore moment that you've experienced in playing this?
Oh man. I mean, once again, to compare it to 5th edition, in 5th edition, if you go to negative hit points, you have to make 3 death saves before you die, In Morkborg and Pirate Borg, if you go to 0, you roll at a table where you might lose a limb or you might die. And if you go negative, you're dead. Like, do not pass go, do not collect $200. You are dead. But there is this mechanic called Devil's Luck, which kind of represents that, lucky nature of pirates, where you can it's kind of like inspiration, where you can spend this currency, if you will. We use coins at the table to re-roll dice or change the difficulty rating. So that's resulted in some really, really fun moments where a whole party will like throw in all of their Devil's Luck just to save one character from dying. So I don't have a specific memory of some brutal deaths, but they get pretty, taking an anchor to the face. it can be pretty brutal. So
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Well, you've already done Morkborg, and a couple of others I know have already come out too. What things did you learn from that Kickstarter or the other Kickstarters that you've done?
Oh, this is my first Kickstarter.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Morkborg is not my game.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. What did I learn? I think we did a really good. I say we, but at that point it was really just me. I did a lot of research and studying into what kind of marketing to do beforehand, and I did a lot of Facebook ads. I know this is like kind of more businessy side, but I think that made the difference, because I had so many people who were like, "Oh, I saw the ad for that," and then I clicked on it, and then it wasn't just a fluff ad. Like the product behind it was good enough for them to back. So,
okay, gotcha.
I think that was good. I'm trying to think what I think the big thing I would do different on my next one is to finish the book beforehand. Because now I'm just now there's so many people that are excited. I just like endlessly make it better. And like, if it was done before, then I could have been like, we're shipping it. I just need to know how many, so that's right. The big thing I would do different. Yeah.
What is your relationship with the Morkborg folks?
Well, they're buddies of mine, I guess.
Okay.
I haven't met them in person, but Pella, the writer of Morkborg, wrote actually a spread for this book. And Johan, the artist and layout guy, is like one of my biggest influences. But like I said, they have a fully open third-party license. So if you wanted to make Samurai Borg or Ninja Turtle Borg, well, I don't know about Ninja Turtles because of copyright, but
that might be a problem. You did not hear that here. Advice from GenCon TV: do not make a Ninja Turtle.
How about Mutant Tortoise Borg?
There you go. Mutant Tortoise Borg. I think the mutants.
Yeah. So I mean, and to extend on that, Pirate Borg has the same kind of license. And in addition to that, my Patreon, which is mostly pirate battle maps, has a commercial tier. So if you were like, hey, I want to write an adventure for Pirate Borg, we have open arms, and you are welcome to do that without approval from me. And you can make all your own successful Kickstarters.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, this is all like we could obviously tell that this is a super close passion project to the heart, that just like your excitement is getting me excited about all things. I mean, is there like one last thing you would like to say about this to just really just stab the hearts with these sea lovers, as they say?
I think for closing thoughts, I'm really excited for GenCon. I've attended multiple times. It's my favorite con of the year. I think it'll be just really fun to see everybody in the industry and to play the game with people. We have 20 of these like printed, these are from Mixum printed copies. We'll be carrying them around. I think we might have one reseller who might be displaying them, but we're still working on those details. But if you see us, please say hi. We have a Discord, pirateborg.com,
Woo!
Ooh, well, thank you so much, Luke, for coming in, telling us about your game. And then don't forget to click on that link that we posted in chat for all of those to peruse and get your swag on, as they say. I don't know. I'm trying to I'm like, what are pirates? I'm failing at it. I'm so sorry.
Lassie, you need more rum in your talk.
Oh my goodness. So that is it for us for TableTakes. I'm so sorry with my pie. I'm good at quips, but not a pirate, apparently. I need more work on that. I need it. But yes. So folks, thank you again to Luke for coming in and telling us about Pirate Borg. Remember, folks, to stick around right after this. Just coming right after this is going to be TableTakes game night. Of course, you'll see us again, Javion, Noir, and Peter, along with Sarah coming back in to play a fabulous game of Star Trek. That nothing could ever go wrong with an abandoned ship. Right, Peter?
That's right. It's nothing to see here. It's going to be boring. Nothing exciting is going to happen. Yeah.
Oh, we're going to die.
Abandoned ships.
all the ships. And then, of course, right after that, at 5 p.m., you get to join again Sarah Moore as she takes over as GM and plays the Nosy Bunch. That's going to be very fun and exciting. And then on Sunday, Nerd Botchery Adventures continues from 4 p.m., 7 p.m. PT with our good friend Nerd Botchery to promise D&D cosplay and a whole bunch of Dwarven Forge to stay in tune. And of course, folks, GenCon is more GenCon TV is more than just TableTakes. We have a whole slew of shows coming in throughout the week. Keep in mind, all of these are Pacific times because, we're West Coast, Best Coast. I said it. Fight me.
Sorry, Noir.
Sorry, Noir. But yes, on Mondays at 4 p.m., we have board games with the Brothers Murph. They're brothers, and they play fantastic games together. They're going to be playing Fayum this week. Tuesday at 4 p.m., we got Out of Character with Mark Tassin. And so if you are excited to hear about some of the nitty-gritty secrets that developers have that they really talk about, then yes, but you'll have to go ahead and see who we bring this week. Wednesday,
it's Peter.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. Sorry, I was just like, there's some jokes on notes that nobody gets to see, and so Peter's gonna come in and tell us more about the background and all the terrible things that they had to go through. Right, Peter? You're gonna just tell us all the heartache, the slanders.
I just whatever comes to mind, yeah.
And then, of course, Wednesday at 6 p.m., we got Actoroki Series 3 coming in. The RPG session is back, and amazing players with Mike Boozer as the DM. Thursdays, we have 10 a.m. Blood on the Clock Tower joining in, and a social and at 4 p.m. Roll with Rem Alternus. I think I got that right. Interviews with creators, of course, developers, and Shadowrun. And then, of course, you can see our lovely faces. And Fridays at 2 p.m., you get to join us. We'll give you all the news. And as we get closer, of course, to GenCon, we'll go ahead and give our tips and tricks on maybe what things and maybe things you want to hit during the con to get the best quality experience. But yes, thank you, everyone. Of course, thank you, Javion, Noir, Peter, and Luke again for joining us for that interview. And also the background. Oh, and me. Oh, awesome. Thank you. And also can give a quick whisper. Thank you, Marcus, for making sure the stream doesn't crash completely on us. We appreciate background staff. And then also remember, folks, to if you don't see us live here on Twitch, don't worry. 24 hours later, you're going to catch our VODs on YouTube. Just have a wonderful week. Keep cool. Don't blow off your fingers. Or, well, I guess the 4th of July is next week. So, yes, just, be happy, hydrate, and do what you can. We will see you in 30 minutes for Star Trek.